Welcome to We're Not Just Going to Survive, but we are going to thrive. I am going to get right into what I'm going to talk about today because I did an experiment. My experiment, and this experiment was to gain weight. Yes, I did an experiment to gain weight, and I will share with you why. I'm not telling you to do this at all. This is not part of thriving in health. It's just something that I wanted to do, and I did an experiment, and I've gained about 35 pounds. Wow, 35 pounds over the last probably 5 months. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I wanted to do it because I life coach, consult, train people, and help so many people. And so many people struggle. I mean, absolutely struggle with losing weight. They struggle with breaking bad habits. They struggle with coming off the sugar. They struggle with coming off the salt. They struggle so bad. And, I've never really gained that much weight in my life. Now, I have put on 5, 7 pounds. Who hasn't, after a weekend of drinking or eating back in the day when I used to do those things. I don't do those things anymore. So I just want to say that. But you would gain 5 to 7 pounds, and that would probably be like water weight, or even over the holidays. But I have never gained that much weight. And so now I wanted to put myself in a situation and a position where those people that I actually help, those people that I consult with, those people that I see the struggle, I understand a little bit more why, because now I'm walking in their shoes. Now I have experienced what they have experienced to some level, and I know what it's like. I know what the addictions are like. I know how hard it's to break it. I know how hard it is to be faithful and get an exercise program and not eat certain foods when now you're addicted to it and it's a habit. So that's number one. Number two is because I just wanted to do a video. And so now I get to do a 12-week video because now I'm going to lose this weight over this 12-week period. So let me tell you kind of some of the things I did. Again, I'm not telling anybody to gain weight to do an experiment or anything like that. This is something I wanted to do. You got to be very careful with that because, if you start gaining weight, you're more at risk for heart disease, you're more at risk for stroke, you're more at risk for diabetes, you're more at risk for cancer. I mean, all these diseases. And if you already have those diseases, that will make it worse. So we know gaining weight is not a good thing at all. But I get to do a video, and in 12 weeks, we'll see where I am. So anyway, I was following a plant-based diet and a vegetarian diet. Well, I didn't start eating meat, but I started doing more vegetarian foods. And I'm telling you, they have vegetarian plant-based ice cream. There's vegetarian plant-based cookies. I mean, there's vegetarian plant-based cakes, anything, sweets, chips, all of that is vegetarian or plant-based. And so what I found is that even if you, okay, for example, even if you go to a fast food restaurant, you can get things that are vegetarian or plant-based. Because if you're a vegetarian, you eat cheese. Most people eat cheese. And not most people, but a lot of vegetarians do eat cheese. So you can even get cheese and eat cheese, and you'll be doing some of the dairy if you're a vegetarian or not on plant-based, but vegetarian. So I didn't go and start eating meat. I just started being like a vegetarian slash plant-based, trying to eat some whole foods, but, I was eating more processed foods. And, over the year, I've told you and shared with you guys about what the processed foods do to you. And this, now it's really shown me what it does to you. Or if you go out to eat fast food a couple times a week, even though you aren't eating the meat, you're still taking in oils that basically just store fat on your body. You're taking in some of the it's stuff that they put in this processed food to preserve it, that's going to be stored as fat in your body. And so now you start gaining this weight, and then you're so addicted to these foods, you don't know how to come off of these foods because now it's an addiction. And so with this experiment, these are some of the things that I found is, number one, you start having problems. I started having problems, meaning that skin problems. my skin, started getting really rough, and I started getting dark spots on my skin in various places, and um, people that have eczema. Now, understand it could be because of some of the processed foods, some of the foods that they're eating, and the toxins that are in the body because of the fat that's stored in the body that's not being released but stored. That this could be coming out in the skin because the skin is the largest organ in the body. I'm sorry, it's like I got something under my eye. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so the skin is the largest organ, and if you're not detoxing and you keep putting these foods in your body and you're accumulating more waste in your body and it's not coming out, it starts coming out in the skin. So I was getting black spots, or dark spots, skin different tones. It was one tone here, one tone there, so it wasn't evenly toned. I got a skin tag. I've never had a skin tag before, but I know what skin tags are, and I got it kind of like behind my knee, right, behind my, on the back side of my leg, right up above my hamstring, behind my knee, and that little indention part where everything bends, a skin tag. And I'm like, where did this come from? Then, I got an abscess in my mouth. I mean, I was going through some things, you guys. Cellulite. I'm going to say it again, cellulite. And oh my goodness, now I'm just, by this time I'm just like, I'm going to have to quit this, but I said, no, I'm going to continue because I had a certain weight that I wanted to get to, or a certain amount of weight, so then I can lose that weight and really show you how the detox, what I always said before, detox, cleanse, rebuild, and then how you can go through a process, some things that you should do to go through this process to get some of that weight off. But I tell you what, I just was really, really, really overwhelmed when these things started happening. And it was even hard getting up. I mean, literally, not just getting out the bed, but getting off from sitting down to getting up, or even in the car. Sometimes I had to kind of do a swing to get my legs out of the car. It's not funny because, and I'm not laughing because, some people are experiencing that every day. So I'm not here to make fun of anybody who is overweight or who's gained weight and feel bad about themselves. I'm not here to do that. So my laughter is not laughing at you. I'm just kind of, expressing laughter as it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I didn't know all these things was going to happen, and it was happening to me. And I'm like, wow. So anyway, did this experiment, and I'm going to now do, I think, 11 more videos. It's going to be like 12 weeks of me going through a process. Now, I'm going to tell you now, the type of process I'm going to do is very unorthodox because I want to get this weight off. And so I'm not playing around with it. I'm not going to keep the weight. I'm not going to be happy in where I am. No, no, no. It was an experiment, and that was it. So when I give you each week of the things I'm doing, I will put modifications. I will put a disclaimer that you don't have to do it this way. You can take some of the things that I'm doing, implement it in your program, and then, see where you are. But I'm going to get this weight off. I want to tell you too also that I've still been walking. So I was still getting the fresh air, the sunshine. I drink my gallon of water a day, make sure I'm hydrated. I was going to bed a little later, and waking up a little later because I was tired, and the foods I was eating, I was lethargic. I wasn't sticking to, usually my plan is usually 2 meals a day, 6 hours apart, no snacking in between. So I didn't really stick to that. I ate in between. But again, I was eating vegetarian, plant-based foods, but it was processed foods, and I'd eat whole foods. I'd do a salad or something like that most days, and other things. But you could go out to eat, and you could go to any restaurant and you can eat some French fries. But what benefit is that because of the oil that is put in the French fries? So, or the oils that's on a gyro sandwich that you can eat from, I think it's Arby's, and it could be vegetarian or plant-based. So anyway, I want to let you know I was still exercising. I wasn't in the gym. I kind of cut back on the weights. Some days I did the weights, and sometimes I went to the saunas and stuff like that. But I tell you what, it's just one of those things that all these things started happening to me, and I'm like, wow, 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 I can't believe it. So I'm going to encourage you to stay tuned, because I want for 12 weeks, I want you to go with me. I want you to flow with me. I want you to be with me in this. We're going to connect in this for 12 weeks. And I'm going to give you some tips because I already know what part of the process was and why you gain weight when you eat foods like that. Why you gain weight when you don't eat whole foods and you eat more processed foods, which are canned, packaged, or bottled. And what happens to your body? Your body gets inflamed. My body was inflamed. I felt inflamed. Things started hurting, joints started hurting because of the inflammation in the body, because of the toxic waste and everything. So I just want to encourage you to stay with me, stay tuned, because I'm going to show you what I've done. I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to lose this fat. I'm going to get into the fat burning stages of my body. And then I'm going to share that with you over this 12-week period. So stay tuned and be waiting for the next video, because still we are going to thrive in health no matter where we are. And I want to meet you where you are. I want to meet you in your struggles. I want to help you in your struggles. And I want to really be able to coach you, consult with you, train if that's what you want. Whatever it is that you may use my expertise for, I want to be able to do that and be able to say, look, I'm not just talking. I didn't just read a book. I didn't just go and get a certification. I just don't have all these years of experience because now here I can share with you or I can help you. But I have actually walked the walk. I have actually walked in your shoes. I actually know how it feels to be real tired. I actually know how it feels to, eat foods that make you kind of tired and lethargic, and then you see that, oh man, I feel inflamed. Oh, this is hurting. That's hurting. I don't have as much energy. When I get up, I got to kind of scoot a little bit instead of just popping up like I used to be able. And then you have to buy new clothes. I forgot to say that. You have to buy new clothes. You have to you look different. You basically, when you gain weight like that, you basically change your whole metabolic makeup. Your whole, which the metabolic makeup, means your hormones. My hormones are imbalanced right now. Everything in my body is imbalanced right now because I'm holding on to too much fat. Because that's how you gain weight, is because the body holds on to the fat. It doesn't release the fat. It doesn't let the fat go. So then it's hard for you to lose weight. And so, you just change your whole metabolic makeover for real. But then when you lose the weight, then you reverse that and get back to the metabolic makeup that you should be. So in this transformation that I'm going through, in this renewal that I'm going through, in this restoration, I call it, that I'm going through, I am going to change my whole metabolic system. So my hormones are going to be back in order. My thyroid is going to be back in order. If it was out of balance, I'm not saying it was, but if it was out of balance because of the weight gain, everything that was out of order, and even my eyesight, let me put that in there, because I was having a little problems with my eyesight, but it wasn't nothing bad. It's just I'm getting older, and probably, reading glasses, but it was getting worse. And it was because of the toxins and the foods that I was eating. I know it was. So all these little things that was happening to me with the skin tag, with the skin blemishes, with the eyesight, with the little abscess or whatever in my tooth, all of these things I relate, and the inflammation, I related to the weight gain, and that the toxins in the body, the waste in the body, and from the weight gain of processed foods and foods that come in a package, can, or bottle. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you my experiment. You can share it with other people and say, hey, this girl, she has kind of went on another level. I'm not telling anybody to gain weight. I'm not telling anybody to do this experiment. It's not healthy. I'm going to say that it's not healthy. It's not thriving in health. It is just surviving, or even just breaking your system down. It's not healthy, but I wanted to do it so I can come back and I can do a 12-week, and I can show you during this 12-week process how much weight I've lost, how I've done it. And again, you don't have to do it the way I do it, but I'm going to give you some tips so then I can really experiment and experience how hard it's about to be for me to be able to come off some of these foods. I mean, those vegetarian and vegan cookies, delicious. The vegetarian and vegan ice cream, delicious. The vegetarian cheese, on a vegetarian burger and everything. Absolutely delicious. I mean, these things are delicious. These foods are wonderful for you. I mean, they taste good. I mean, I don't mean they're wonderful for you, but they feel wonderful. They taste good and everything, but they are going to be hard to break the habit of eating. I'm letting you know, I'm about to struggle with it, but I'm going to make it. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm doing to kind of, I guess, boost my metabolism, get me into that fat burning stage, and so that I can be really thriving in health. But I wanted to just be able to come back and tell you that, look, I've walked in these shoes. Another thing I want to point out before I let you go is depression tends to occur more when you are overweight, or more when you are eating these foods. I found myself being depressed for no reason. I found myself feeling really, really, really depressed, really, really sad sometimes, really, 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 really lonely sometimes. And sometimes I had anxiety really bad. So I was going through anxiety, depression, loneliness, sadness, all of these things. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on with me? And I tell you, because I know that through the bad foods and the weight gain, guess what was happening? I was changing my hormones. My hormones was all out of whack. Right? And so my hormones was all out of whack because of the foods that I was eating, and what that does when you eat certain foods, when you eat foods that make your insulin levels go up, and it turns into glucose and all that. Now I'm going to talk about all that on my next video, because that's what I'm going to kind of start my phase of going through, to coming off of some of these foods that boost your insulin levels. And all these things can cause you to be more depressed, more lonely, anxious. And I think I did a video on anxiety and depression talking about the foods. And so I am going to share those things with you as I go through this process. But stay tuned, stay with me. Be looking for the videos. I may do a few more videos in between those videos on this particular topic, but it's going to be fat loss. The title is going to be Fat Loss, My Experiment. And so then you can look for that one, and it's going to have phase one, part one, part two, and it's going to go on and on. And like I said, I might do videos in between, but stay tuned. Be looking forward. If you haven't subscribed so you can go through this journey with me, and you can see how I'm going through this journey, because again, we want to thrive and we don't just want to survive. God bless.